Just there it out. Come ahead. Go ahead. Go back home, mate. You're fucking team.
I'm glad the security got hold of me straight away because it was pretty much like instant. I was ready to go.
So if the security didn't have hold of you,
Chris Eubank Jr. confronted Conor Benn at the airport after the devastating loss, and this wasn't a minor shove, it was frustration spilling past the breaking point. Eubank looked shaken, emotional, and far from his usual composed persona, while Benn stayed firm and unbothered. Their rivalry officially ignited into something volatile. Eubank often claims he keeps emotion out of boxing, but this display proved the opposite. The tension had already surged after claims that Conor used drugs on fight day. Paul Smith's reaction made things clearer. Despite the doping allegations, the airport outburst looked chaotic, not commanding. Instead of gaining respect, Eubank appeared rattled, and the moment
stand each other.
Does that bring the best out of you? And is it too much for Conor?
I wouldn't say it brings the best out of me, no. For me, keeping emotions out of boxing has always been the way I've been able to do.
Tony Bellew highlights the real danger behind what many brushed off as a funny slap. Bellew explains that Eubank's strike wasn't harmless at all. It carried the potential for serious, lasting damage, especially around the eyes. His breakdown exposes how reckless the act was, shifting the
That from Chisora. I'm not going to lie, when it happens, I laughed my head off. I absolutely laughed my head off.
I did too.
I thought it was quite poetic. I thought what happened was quite...
Johnny Nelson agrees that Eubank clearly crossed a physical boundary, but he also sees it through the lens of Eubank's long-standing villain persona. This wasn't just an emotional slip, it was part bravado, part performance, combining real aggression with calculated theatrics that he has leaned
Top of his head, right? But a slap in the face towards the eye,
in the ear as well.
People have to realise that I've got 2 scratched eyeballs, and the eyeballs, the part of the body, it never heals. Yeah. So the best way to explain it is, it would be like varnishing a door, and the varnish comes off, and then you've got to put the varnish back on. Yeah. The liquid on the eye comes off in the cornea, it gets damaged. Like that.
Adam Smith points out that although Eubank Jr.'s actions shouldn't be excused, they undeniably elevated the rivalry. Boxing is driven by tension and narrative, and this incident intensified public intrigue, pulling fans deeper into the unfolding storyline.
Yeah, he was wrong. He put his hands on him, and so it was wrong. But you know what? He's saying I'm going to play the villain. You know, being the prop, done everything right up to.
Duke McKenzie notes that drama and spectacle are woven into the DNA of boxing. While Eubank's behavior looked extreme, it didn't damage the sport. In a business where entertainment often eclipses pure competition, moments like this generate hype, attention, and momentum.
As well as with and Andy Clark, we all thought, from our vantage point, that Ben had said something and got under his skin, and that's what we were shocked about. It was like, how? Because he's like unflappable. But then obviously it transpires it was an egg, so therefore it's premeditated, and then that makes it that changes it. That completely changes it. Who goes to a press conference with probably a 10 grand jacket with eggs in the pocket? He's got plenty of dough, yes, because I won't be risking that jacket with some eggs.
You said uncharacteristic for Chris Eubank Jr.
Now, once you know it's premeditated, then it's not uncharacteristic. At the time, you're thinking it's like reaction. So no, it's not, because he premeditates everything, and it was funny, but I don't agree with touching.
Dave Coldwell insists the confrontation wasn't a spur-of-the-moment reaction. Eubank Jr. orchestrated the moment, blending showmanship with hostility. While some observers may laugh it off, placing a hand on another fighter's face is no small gesture. Ego, planning, and theatrics collided.
It wouldn't surprise me, but like I say, I don't see there's any harm in it. It didn't bring the sport into disrepute in any way. This is the show business world that we live in. There's the fight game, and then there's the fight business. And from the
Chris Eubank Jr. delivers a blunt message revealing his deeper frustration with boxing politics. He paints a picture of fighters who remain quiet out of fear of losing opportunities, money, or influence, while wrongdoing goes unchecked. His comments suggest the airport incident was more than emotion. It was the breaking point of built-up resentment toward a sport he believes is riddled with dishonesty.
Price is big for the casual fans. Do we condone it? I mean, in boxing terms, should that happen at a head-to-head? Of course not, but these things do happen. This is the fight business, and it's just made it even bigger, and we wait to see what happens.
Bomac outlines the psychological build-up behind Eubank's airport eruption. He argues that the constant taunting, baiting, and trash talk pushed Chris closer to the edge. This wasn't sudden chaos, It was the climax of deliberate mental warfare. Bomac even points to tension from recent sparring sessions, showing how strategy, emotion,
and treacherous things they're doing in the sport. No one speaks up. Everyone's too afraid. Oh, I don't want to ruffle any feathers. I don't want to lose out on a fight, or I don't want to mess up my money. I don't care. I don't need to be here. So if you do something wrong, I'm going to expose you.
Caldwell returns to emphasize the defining issue. The moment Eubank Jr. touched Conor Benn's face, the boundary between hype and hostility snapped. Verbal battles are expected, but physical contact shifts the entire dynamic. Caldwell frames it as the tipping point where controlled tension transformed into volatility, making the airport moment a symbolic crossing of all lines.
He must love it. He must love the egging and pushing him on. We talking crap about the fighter and, you know, just trying to get in his head.
Eddie Hearn is direct. He calls Eubank Jr.'s act a blatant violation of respect that goes far beyond normal promotional friction. Trash talk is part of the game, but physical contact at a presser crosses a clear boundary. Hearn highlights the sharp divide between hype and professionalism, turning the airport scene into a warning about how
I'm not surprised.
Does that cross the line, do you think?
Yeah, it does. Listen, the presser was good. It was a great presser, back and forth, poking each other, but not too far. But once you get physical and you touch a man's face.
Sam Jones highlights Eubank Jr.'s stubborn streak, suggesting that despite criticism, he may still push aggressively for a trilogy to reclaim pride and control the narrative. But Jones warns that public appetite might not match Eubank's determination. The airport controversy and decisive defeat could shift fan interest, creating tension between Eubank's personal drive and what the
I thought it was a bitch move. I really did. Have you spoken? I would never. If you chin someone at a presser, if you do that, it's different.
Gareth A. Davies brings focus to the physical realities affecting any possible trilogy. Weight cutting is harsh, and age only amplifies the toll. If Eubank attributes his performance to making 160, a third fight may be logically argued, but the risks are substantial. The fight itself, the airport clash, and the physical strain all point to a fighter feeling the pressure of age and limits. Any future matchup must consider health, safety,
and Eubank's stubborn, isn't he? He's probably going to look at that and think, I can't go out kind of like that, and he'll probably decide he wants a trilogy, but I personally I can't see the third.
Eddie Hearn breaks down how skill and emotional discipline shaped the outcome. Benn's bodywork, focus, and strategic control allowed him to dominate, while Eubank Jr.'s frustration undermined him. The contrast between Benn's composure and Eubank's unraveling, both in the ring and at the airport, shows how intelligence outweighed emotion. The victory also carries historical weight, a welterweight stepping up and overturning the past for the Benn family.
There could be a trilogy if he says he got the weight cut wrong, but my view is we're starting to see the danger signs of his weight cut and certainly the danger signs of his age.
Aid Oladipo stresses that the future of both fighters depends on smart decisions around weight and career planning. For Eubank Jr., returning to middleweight is dangerous at his age. For Benn, 147 remains his most effective division, where major fights await with names like Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, and Lewis Crocker. The airport scene, the fight result, and career directions are interconnected, showing that success depends as much on...
Galling, really. Won every round, dropped him. 10 more seconds, the fight's over. Different kind of fight, obviously, to the first fight, but needed to be. Needed to box smart and not use his emotions in there. I thought he boxed really well, busted him up to the body, and massive win for a welterweight to come up to middleweight and avenge that defeat and finally get a victory for the Benn family in the 4th episode.
35.
The Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn feud has evolved into a gripping, multi-layered drama that extends beyond the ring. The explosive airport confrontation and the tactical battle in the fight highlight how emotion, pride, age, and physical limits shape careers. Analysts like Davies and Oladipo underscore the importance of weight, timing, and long-term safety. Fans are now left wondering what comes next, Eubank's pursuit of redemption or Benn's forward march.
It doesn't happen just because of the age and the weight difference as well. The idea of asking Chris to try and make middleweight again is crazy. And for Conor Benn, he needs to go back down to 147. I don't know if he can make welterweight, Well, that's where he should go, because there are so many big fights against a few loudmouth Americans, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney. There's a guy in Ireland called Lewis Crocker who's got a